Okay, you guys seemingly wanted it. You're seemingly going to get it. Haverok is really salty about this one. Hey guys, MasakoX here. As you could tell from the prelude, this is something that Haverok has been very observant about, and something that he wished to work with in terms of a what if idea with me, because he'd heard enough about it. There has been a name that has appeared in the chat logs of our weekly What If Roundtable live streams. It's really hard to pinpoint when exactly this movement started, but considering how badly the live chat archiving works here, it's not really a surprise. However, the most recent example of this came from a super chat from one of our regular viewers of the series, the Comic Platypus, and that is Kuriza. Kuriza? Who's that? Is that one of your other OCs, Masako, that you've never talked about before? No? This is something that actually came from Toriyama himself. He's actually a gag character from the surprisingly respected and well-remembered comic Neko Margin Z, as well as a small cameo in Budokai too. Put simply, Kuriza is basically the son of Freeza in the event that he was capable of being able to make a clone of himself. And there has been plenty of fan art of father and son on display here, including this example here from Deadly Chestnut on DeviantArt. Yep, this chestnut may contain certain traces of evil characters, but it's still pretty wholesome, isn't it? In any case, you're probably wondering where on earth would we put this into the main lore. Much like what we did with our Bardock Convince the Saiyan series, we are going beyond the boundaries of the current timeline. But instead of going way back into the past like we did with Bardock, we're going to go just slightly forward in time. Now, in terms of Kuriza's personality and power, if you want to have some kind of idea of what he is relative to the main cast from my point of view, I think he's basically like Peridot from Steven Universe. This all takes place in the aftermath of the Broly movie. Goku and Broly have established contact and set the tone for potential sparring together later and learning from one another the joys of training. Or more accurately, Goku making Broly like training, albeit through much less nefarious means than his father Paragus, of course. Meanwhile, out in the depths of deep space, our new madcap villain of the week, the mellowed out Frieza, is beginning to feel a sort of malaise developing, despite having just gotten the chance to return to life for the third time not all that long ago. You see, just doing the whole conquering planets and doesn't afraid of anything thing had just lost its luster in a way. Is this what his father had experienced in the day when he created Frieza and Frieza assumed control of the Empire? Well, maybe. Frieza decides that it's time for some changes to happen within the Empire to try and make things more interesting for himself. This is a clear mark of how much more mature he has become than he was when he was younger. He knows that with those pesky Saiyans knocking around, including that new one Broly, who he utterly admires in an ironic twist, one thing is very certain. Knowing that Gogeta could just appear at any moment, be whipped out against him, he has got to confirm to himself that his job is going to be noticeably harder from now on. Not only that, but Berry Blue and Kikono, his servants, whilst being quite amusing and a quaint nod to his past, almost being rather fond of them actually, are not the true kind of companionship that he's looking for, that challenges him in any way. With the possible exception of Berry Blue on occasion, but far too infrequently for his liking though. The Emperor feels that he needs a companion more along the lines of someone from his own kind, to be able to stand by his side with the kinds of things that he does all the time. To make him stay alert almost. Father had many uses, yes, but there was always that small little hint of possible betrayal from him, that snarky superiority and patronizing that he had towards him. That did keep them both alive though. Now, I bet you're thinking, Masako, why not just have Cooler come back in here and join forces? Well, Frieza does consider that for a hot second, but then dismisses it. He's just like father. It would be a waste of time bringing him back, trying to get through to him and telling him I was lonely. Dreading thought. I would never be able to live it down. He needed someone who he could shape into his own image and teach things to his liking. So, to counteract this idea of Cooler, Frieza decides that this is the best time for him to spawn his very own offspring. But he won't just simply hand over the control of his empire to this progeny just like that, just like Daddy did. Oh no. That's not the problem here. That's not what Frieza's dealing with at the moment. He is more than capable of doing this task on his own. Having someone similar to himself around will give Frieza another pair of eyes within the Empire and a possibly valuable asset in his spat with the Saiyans. So he decides to go ahead with this plan and spawns, well, Kuriza, very much to the shock of Kikuno and to Berry Blue's great amusement. The two are of course the ones that will do the initial grooming of this Lord Kuriza, which causes a lot of chaos around the capital ship. Wait, there's a son of Frieza now? Oh man, this is going to be something either curious or extremely terrifying. Also, they would spend many hours wondering how Frieza could, make it happen. When Kuriza is fully developed and matured into a fit state, it becomes quite clear that he is quite potent and seems pretty similar to his father in terms of his personality and overall appearance. However, he has one trait that is setting him apart from his dad, certainly. He is very eager. He is extremely enthusiastic to get things done. That's weird. A rather weird development even, but not all that troubling. I'll take this. Whenever the Frieza force is invading a planet, Kuriza wants to be down there, instead of just sending down beam attacks from the ship just like his father would, attacking with the grunts he wants to do, making sure that his father is watching. He wants to prove himself. Why? Did I just so happen to create an imperfect offspring? A failure? I don't remember such insecurity for myself, Frieza ponders. But this does give me an idea. While Frieza is very grateful for all the attention that the child got from Berry Blue and Kikuno, offspring like that need some other tutors in the mix as well, to ensure a varied upbringing, as well as an eclectic skill set. Frieza orders the mothership to set a course for Earth, and as you might expect, when the ship is almost in Earth's orbit, and Goku and Vegeta can actually sense Frieza there, they are understandably alarmed at this revelation, but they're ready to go and apprehend Frieza, despite the reluctance on Vegeta's part to fuse if they need to, but he will do it if need be. When the door opens and Frieza just casually saunters down the gantry towards them, the prince steps forward and chuckles at this sight.
So, you finally did it! You couldn't help yourself, Frieza. You didn't take the hint from before and left us alone. Do you really want to get your butt kicked again? I mean, I don't mind, but I question your judgment these days,
Vegeta states. But instead of finding this the least bit intimidating, Frieza just simply laughs this off, which slightly annoys the prince. Oh, no, Vegeta, you are quite wrong. Less wrong than usual, but still wrong. I am not here to fight. Not today, at least. You see, I merely came to this dung heap you call home to ask you for a friendly, neighborly favor.
There is nothing friendly about us, Frieza, and there is no favor that I would ever do for you.
Frieza counters this. What if I make you a promise? If you promise to do this simple task for me, I promise that I will never again threaten your puny little planet. I can't guarantee your safety though, but this world shall not be touched by my good self anymore. Scoffs aplenty from the prince here.
Ha! And are we all supposed to actually believe that?
You're not exactly the most trustworthy of people, you know. You've proved that far too many times to count.
No, trust me, Lord Beerus is more than free to mediate with this, if that makes you feel any less scared. Goku and Vegeta look at each other, quite puzzled. But Vegeta, though, has heard enough of this bluster.
Get to the point.
Frieza casually walks onto the Earth's surface, right up into Vegeta's face. I don't suppose you could understand, but running the Frieza Empire, it isn't easy. I decided to slow down on the whole conquest stuff, and instead focus on internal affairs for a change, making it stronger. But in order for me to do that, I need to be focused. And in order to achieve this focus, I need to know that my son is in good hands. Frieza smiles, seeing the shock of both of the Saiyans and his own men. You're what? Both Goku and Vegeta exclaim in surprise. Frieza then introduces Kuriza, who suddenly becomes very shy in the presence of these two men that, as far as he's concerned, are equal in power to his father. He timidly walks up to his father and somewhat hides behind him for safety.
You're joking, right? Why would you send him here, of all places?
Vegeta is baffled by all of this going on right now. Oh, come on, Vegeta. Think for 1 second in your life. It's quite simple. So simple, in fact, that I'm sure that this one here could understand it. He motions his hand to Goku. As much as I hate to admit it, a lot of what I am today has been shaped by you monkeys. Your kind, especially you, Goku, made me what I am today. And I think of that as a very illuminating experience. So, if my son is ever going to rule my empire someday, he needs something similar to happen to him. Nothing that I could teach him could come close. I'm tired of this little tiff of ours, my dear monkeys. It's clear to me that we can never truly best each other.
Actually, I've kind of beaten you twice.
As I said, who better than my 2 best rivals to mentor my son for a while?
Kakarot, this is a trap! This brat is surely a ticking time bomb!
Yeah, but you heard what he said. He will leave Earth alone if we just take care of his son for a little while. It doesn't seem that hard. Besides, he doesn't look all that bad.
Kuriza spits in Goku's eye. So much for that then. Oh my! Frieza laughs. I think he likes you, he says jokingly. Goodbye, Kuriza. Be nice to Uncle Goku and Uncle Vegeta now, would you? Daddy will come back for you as soon as I'm all done with the office stuff. Ta-ta! Kuriza says nothing, watching his father leave in the mothership. Vegeta initially doesn't want to have anything to do with this child, but Goku's able to convince him to go along with it for the time being. If they can influence Kuriza to be on their side, perhaps, maybe he'll turn out better than Frieza did. He gives Vegeta, himself, and Piccolo as examples of this fact. Vegeta still protests though, as he believes that nothing good could ever come out of the Frieza race, but he decides that it would be better to keep an eye on this kid. And of course, the rest of the Z-Fighters are equally shocked with this reveal, with Krillin having some very unsettling flashbacks. Kuriza is pretty passive though, and looks to the sky when someone tries to apprehend him. He shoots a ki blast or spits on them or something. Gohan suspects that this child may have an ulterior motive in being here, and that it would be wise to keep an eye on him. For the moment, Kuriza is staying at Capsule Corp, and the teenage Goten and Trunks are tasked to watch over him. They try to get him to talk, get him interested in anything, but all that ends up with is a wild goose chase around the Capsule Corp grounds, and Kuriza mischievously destroying a large portion of the streets nearby. This enrages Vegeta, who yells at him and points out that his father had left him here, so he better cooperate, or else Vegeta will send him packing back into space personally. Kuriza is pretty bummed out about that. Apparently, being left out of things really gets to the little guy, though he tries not to show this too much. That evening, he's sitting outside, looking to the stars again, as if he's waiting for his father to take him back. However, he is approached by a toddler Bra, who snuck out of her bedroom.
Hello.
Kuriza glares at her.
Can you talk?
Yes.
Go away.
Bra tilts her head.
Why are you so angry? What are you doing?
Waiting for Papa to take me back from here.
Can I wait with you?
Kuriza looks at her for a moment, trying to figure out whether this act of empathy is genuine, or another ruse on Vegeta's part to try and get him to spill the beans on him being here.
All right, but don't get too close.
Bra sets herself down and looks up to the exact same spot in the sky.
You're from space?
Yes, stop talking.
Aren't stars pretty up close?
Kuriza just scoffs this asinine question. I don't care. Maybe.
Hey, I'm sorry that you missed your dad.
Miss him? Miss him? I am Kuriza, heir to the Freezer Empire. I do not miss anyone. I have no time for your monkey touchy-feely nonsense.
Bra starts to tear up, and Kuriza? Well, her crying makes him feel worse than expected.
Oh, don't cry, don't cry. Your dad is going to be mad at me.
Why are you being so mean to me?
Because you're a monkey.
And what's wrong about being a monkey?
My dad says that I'm not supposed to talk to monkeys.
My daddy told me not to talk to you, but he's asleep now, and your papa's in space. They're not here.
Bra then stops simpering, and much like how 4-year-olds do, changes tack almost instantly.
Have you ever played hide and seek?
Played? What's that?
Bra explains to Kuriza the rules of the game, and the two begin to play. For the first time on Earth, Kuriza's actually having fun. The fun is interrupted, however, by a panicked Bulma, who realizes that Bra is not in her bed. When Vegeta sees her playing with Kuriza, he demands that he be moved away from Capsule Corp, away from his daughter at once. And this upsets both children, and this time the Son family are tasked with taking care of him. Kuriza is angry. He wanted to play with the monkey girl. He did nothing wrong. They were having fun. That is until that Vegeta came in and spoilt it. No wonder his father hated him. Goku, Gohan, and Videl decide that they should try and introduce him to Pan. His upbringing with Pan is much easier, and he seems much more stable that way. Pan also seems to enjoy his company. Goku now has to convince Vegeta that he should let Bra and Kuriza meet again. This might be the way to best communicate with the kid and make him a better person than Frieza. And that's where we're going to be leaving things for right now. So what do you guys think? Do you think Kuriza might be a crucial means to bring down Frieza once and for all? Will Vegeta be able to have any kind of trust in him? Leave a comment below and let's get this discussion going. And I shall see you in the next video. Catch you later.